maps in this sort of section, so that's not really too crazy at all, as we're going to get set up here and get going. To the bottom left-hand side of the map, we do have our red Terran player from Team Liquid. It is uThermal here on 16-bit, and he is going up against the blue Zerg player. To the top right-hand side, it is soO. soO 2-0 in this group right now. A win here would secure him a place in the round of 8, and MMA as well. Of course, uThermal and Creator can still play for 3rd/4th place in the group and an extra $25 because everyone in this tournament does get paid out no matter where they finish. Alright then, so as we set up into this, we look to see just what is going to be happening, as we are going to be seeing this SCV on its way out and just getting going. So let's talk a little bit about 16-bit. Obviously you have this in-base expansion, so very kind of macro favored. And by the way, doesn't it just look so cool? All these little like squares floating around. I really think this one's really awesome. It looks cool. I think I'm really in love with this map just from the look of it straight away. But I really think it plays nicely. You get your standard free bases, you know, it's like Backwater. You get the macro aspect going. You push out, you can take a 4th base down here, perhaps more likely to take one just in front. You know, it's a little bit kind of, you can attack in a couple different ways, but they are kind of, you know, 2 main pathways in towards your top right-hand side or bottom left-hand side. And, you know, once you know, if you can cover those, you're going to be pretty safe in general. So intrigued to see how this goes. As you see, Overlord's just moving along, looking to see what's happening. What's up, Robert Fari coming in with the good afternoon Wardy and the cheer 100. Thank you so much for the 100 bits. Do appreciate it. Down with OFU, says 47ness. Little by little, man. Little by little. Thank you very much, Robert Fari, for helping out as well. I appreciate all the bits, guys, and all the support. It means a lot, and again, helps us to keep on creating StarCraft 2 content. All you guys that sub, cheer, and all the rest of it, you're absolute esports heroes. CC first from uThermal with the in-base expanse, so already playing to the map. And as we get ready to go in towards this factory follow-up as well, so CC first into Rax double gas, and we are going to be seeing the couple of refineries just mining away here in these early stages. Link speed on the way up, a couple more queens on the way out. We just continue to get this going, as obviously soO doesn't take an expansion just yet. But when he does take a 3rd base, it definitely could be in the back of this main. Although, that said, there's always that possibility of actually cheesing on this map, because it's very difficult for uThermal to scout the lack of a base here. And so it's very hard for him to know it's actually only 2 bases instead of 3. This time it is going to be an expansion, but it's something we saw a lot on like Proxima Station. How do you confirm that back base? And it does create some interesting questions. You know, and it kind of creates a bit of a weird dynamic on a map where players will go CC first, for example. So pretty cool stuff, as we are going to be seeing the starport is on the way up, a tech lab building on the barracks as well, and we are going to be seeing again another couple of Hellions just on the way out of this reactor, getting ready to go. Roses are red, violets are blue, soO will always be my number 2, says Hard Revenge. God damn it. God damn it. Well, just going to be seeing a couple of Hellions moving out on the map here for uThermal. That's getting set to go as a few Zerglings coming around this right-hand side, and just going to take that watchtower here right away. This Hellion, well, these couple of Hellions coming all the way over to this right-hand side here to see what's going on, and a couple of Queens from soO right away able to push that back. So, a couple of Hellions being pushed back there, and we are just going to be seeing a creep tumor coming down once more. So a couple of creep tumors going to be coming across, as we see the Roach Roaring is also dropping in from soO right now on that natural expansion. So he is going to play the Roaches. He's been playing the Roaches all day. He actually has 37 drones and about to make the Roaches, so he's going to go a little bit aggressive with this. soO, come on, let's see 16-bit a little bit. I want to see this map for more than 5 minutes. As the Overlords pop, Roaches will begin to produce, and well, uThermal, I feel as though he's in a better position to scout this than previously, perhaps, than the other players were than MMA, because he's already got Hellions on the map, and they're moving into a good spot. soO's really waiting before building these Roaches. Wow. Hellions actually going to dive on in. Maybe soO just wants to kind of hide the Roaches from these Hellions initially diving. As we're going to see uThermal gets a few kills right away. He's got enough Hellions to actually do more damage, and soO is going to start losing some more of these drones. We're going to see a couple more workers picked off here, and actually more of this damage being dealt. 7 workers down. We're going to be seeing these Hellions in towards the main base now, going to get themselves 8 worker kills, 9. I mean, this is great because he also sees the Roaches popping out, and now he knows about this aggressive follow-up possibility. So uThermal Well, one of the big things for him is that just straight up, he's already in this position where he can just sit and defend so easily. And just set that Liberator up to, you know, he can just defend this one ramp so easily. I'm not even sure if Roach is coming across the map will be able to do very much here. So let's find out. soO's already drawn in once again as we set up into this. And we do just see him setting on up as uThermal bringing his Liberator across the map. Does see a couple of Roaches, and because of that he is going to start bringing the Liberator home because he doesn't have much else to defend just yet. So that Liberator is starting to come on home as the Viking out hunting for Overlords has found one so far, but that's about it. As we're going to be seeing the Overlord just get found, but a Queen actually to defend, so this Viking will not be able to do too much here. As again, the Roaches and Ravagers are about to get set and ready to attack in towards this natural expansion. As soO gets ready to see what he can do. I mean, again, he's not fully committing to this. He's droning quite heavily. He's in a bit of a weak spot, so just hoping he can get some damage done with a tank out. I don't think maybe, you know, maybe he gets these 2 depots, but that should be about it as we're going to see the Liberator. Doesn't want to siege up just in case of those biles, and in fact, that Roach army does get pushed away. So that gets shut on down as we see this Viking is still on the hunt, and we'll find one more Overlord here. uThermal is actually rallying it around though, so he doesn't actually quite see it at that moment. So that Overlord for now will be able to survive. They're going to complete in the next few moments as melee upgrades are just starting. The attack upgrades of uThermal coming up as well as we're going to see this CC about to drop on down into the 3rd base. Liberator sieges up a tank behind, and again more Marines just gathering together. And we're actually going to get into a bit of a macro game here once again. This is the same follow-up that soO did earlier against MMA. And the Roach play, when it didn't work out, or when it got into a longer game, he started to play the Ling Bane follow-up, and just sort of playing from there. But his Bane nest is very late in this scenario, and well, it'll be interesting to see if he's actually going to be up with Bane speed in time to really do a lot. It'll be interesting as we see those medevacs coming up to the top side already. One Marine just going to take that watchtower here. We're going to see these medevacs coming through, and they're going to be dropping in towards the main base in the next few moments. So these Marines looking to see what's up again. A Queen and a few Zerglings there as well, and just going to be seeing the first creep team that actually does get picked off here right away. And those Marines going to get ready to attack in towards this 4th base. We do see the Liberator also sieged up. So as these Marines are going to get rid of this location, we are going to be seeing at the same time as well the Liberator starting to be fought against by some of these Queens. The Ravager's able to corrosive bile dead down, but actually it dodges away as you see in the picture-in-picture, but it gets stuck, and it will go down to the Queens. So the Queen's able to pick up the Liberator kill. As we're going to be seeing the Marines here do have to lift up, but a cancel on the 4th base, and uThermal is keeping himself in the lead, which he established early with the Hellion run-by and the defense. What's up, Bronze League Hobo, coming in with the cheer 20 in the chat. Thank you for the 20 bits. Do appreciate it, mate. Every little helps. Thank you very much. As you see this drop from uThermal, we'll probably have to just lift up and get away. Not really much need to kind of stick around and fight this here. Doesn't really gain him all too much at all. So you just pull around this right-hand side. Baneling speed is on the way up. Combat shields is starting for uThermal as well. 2-2 upgrades continuing to come on out. +1 vehicle weapons as well. Another medevac just about to finish. uThermal gets the 2nd factory. He loves his tank-heavy play, and especially against something which is going to be Roach or Hydra-based, he really will just punk out so many tanks, as many as possible here, as we're going to be seeing the medevacs coming up the top. And again, more of these Marines and medevacs still just on the map and cleaning up some of this creep spread. So that's going to continue as this drop comes on in. Let's see just what this drop can really get up to here in the long run. So for now, just going to get pushed away without too much excitement. And this drop's still cleaning out creep spread as well, though, so keeping soO pinned back, keeping him from being able to do too much else. This drop's still going to come around the right-hand side and just try again for just that little bit more. uThermal lifts, and this time might get into the main. Again, the Spore Crawler makes it difficult. A Queen here as well. Medevac begins to unload, and the Queen doesn't target fire right away. Meanwhile, that other drop on the picture-in-picture goes towards the natural 3rd base, or natural, I mean, it depends which way you took them around. Move away, it goes towards the other base here, but it's deflected pretty quickly due to the Roaches in position. It means that uThermal has just got nothing to contest him over here, and so the Hydras take a while to get there. And uThermal again dealing damage, building up in towards what's about to be a big 2-2 time, and he's got a ton of tanks. He's got, what, 7 on the map already, a lot of Marines, 2-2 is about to finish, and uThermal is ready to put that into play. He's pushing across here and looking to see what he can do. Now, there's still a couple of crypt teamers here and there, which soO just has available to him to give him some more information. uThermal's starting to clean them out, though, and as that creep dissipates, so does the vision that soO has out on the map, and it gives uThermal a chance here to get into the location without being seen beforehand. And this 2-2 attack is going to be deadly because soO's upgrades are delayed. He doesn't have 2-2 of his own, As uThermal's also got this choke point to pull back in towards, and that's going to be somewhat deadly. These tanks are positioning themselves in such a beautiful position. I mean, how do you actually fight this here? I'm not too sure. Marines split up initially. Here come the rest of the units as well. Again, tanks firing from such a distance. The Banes just can't even connect on the Marines. They go down before they get close, and uThermal stimming in. We'll find game number 1, and soO will drop down a map. uThermal takes the advantage. He takes the lead on 60 into the game. Let's see what's going to happen in game number 2. Up by 1 to the bottom left-hand side. It is good. Bottom right-hand side, sorry. It's our Red Terran player from Team Liquid. Give it up if you're cheering on uThermal. And to the top left-hand side, our Blue Zerg player, it is soO. What's up, Kalaris in the chat as well? How you doing, mate? Feels like I haven't seen you for ages. Well, it's been Shanghai. It feels as though, like, you know, I casted, like, all those IEM qualifiers, and not a single time did I get to cast with you. The day I got to Poland, you left, or the day I left, you got there. We've just been avoiding each other, mate. Hope life's good. Thanks for dropping by. And, let's see, what's going on. Let's see what's going to happen as we do see the game number 2 getting set up on against Cyberus Relay Station. This fairly aggressive map with a fairly quick rush distance, and third bases kind of close to each other as well. And I think that's what we sort of saw yesterday too. Once you get towards the third base, the rush distance becomes actually even closer. So it's the rush map in a bit of a different way. It's very limited air-wise as well. There's not a lot of dead airspace, so you can't really drop around the map too much either. As we get this set up and ready to go, but it also gives you a bit of a choice of maps or third bases too. You can take this base down here, which has a bit of a weird, I don't know what this set of rocks is meant to achieve. I guess it chokes up an attack from this direction, but if you're a defender, I find it hard to kind of imagine that you're going to be defending with those rocks on your side. I don't really know, it's kind of strange. It's kind of strange. This base up here I think is in general a little bit better. Yeah, I think this is a little bit better. It's much more choked off, a lot easier to defend. I don't think this base is very easy to defend at all, actually. The more I look at it, it's a little bit weird. I'm very confused by this rock. Why is this rock here? What does this achieve? If anyone has any ideas, I'd love to hear it. As you do see this Reaper going to be popping in towards the natural to start dealing some damage here. Let's have a look to see how uThermal's micro is going to be as he begins this initial dance with Lings, drones, with his Reaper. Going to be looking for a drone kill then. He does get one. So already a drone kill picked up as uThermal dealing some damage. I was just going to be seeing this Reaper probably going to have to back away again here in a moment or two. So Reaper does start pulling back, and uThermal seems to be somewhat done so far. Just checking the third hatch over here, but it's actually going to be the triangular based third for soO. So he's going to take this one here with, again, that kind of weird rock there, which is going to be changing things up a little bit. So see how this gets going as we do see a couple more Hellions on the way out. Starport is on the way up in the main base. Tech Lab on the way down in the barracks. And again, getting this going. A couple of Hellions on the way out. And this Orbital just coming up on the natural. Tech Lab starting up on this main. Just going to be finishing off this Tech Lab on the barracks. And we are going to be seeing these couple of Hellions coming out in the front. Again, fairly standard so far this game. Very different already to 16-bit. Just the build orders from uThermal is obviously very different here from what we saw before. That was a little bit of a weird little jump there, wasn't it? It's going to be continuing on through and looking to see what's next. Reaper coming over to the left-hand side, and again, Viking on the way up. Another couple of Hellions coming through as well. I'm just going to see this Overlord going to take a little bit of damage. Liberator on the way out as well here, but the Viking actually is already finished, so he's going to be able to push that Overlord back and starts getting some kills. Another Overlord here too, if uThermal can find it. It's already going to be a couple of early Overlords. This first one going down, well, another one just finished, but if this one dies, it is a small supply block potentially waiting to happen. Unfortunately, Viking not going to go that way just straight away. A couple of Cyclones on the way up as well here from uThermal, as more of these Hellions are going to gather together just out the front of this natural, as we see this Viking coming all the way through the south side over towards the left. Armory is on the way up, and we are going to be seeing Another command center from uThermal. It's not really going to try anything cheeky off the 2 bases. Just going to keep on expanding here, as we are going to be seeing the lair on the way up. The rocks for Protesties with force fields. I guess I'm just confused, right? If you're on, like, imagine if you're on the field. I guess this isn't a good time to talk because we're actually going to see this attack from uThermal. So hold the forts for a moment, but I just want to talk about this rock because I just don't know if it really works as a defense. I guess I just can't imagine where the army is going to position itself to defend. I guess we might see here. I guess we'll see now, but I feel as though it just doesn't really... okay, so the queen's over to the right as this fight starts up. Maybe barracks behind this, by the way, so going into bio, some Ling's going to go for the counterattack across the map, but the wall is raised. Hellbat's doing their job so far as these Cyclones starting to deal some damage as well. Zergling's running in here, and they're going to just get roasted. Right now, soO's not ready for this attack, and his queens are going to start going down. He's out of transfusions, so these queens really are going to start dropping now, and that is painful. A couple more Zerglings getting in here as uThermal will just clean those up, though. And he's going to have 1 Cyclone left over to maybe grab another queen with. Is it going to go down in time? It's not. Lings across the map were dealt with, but the Liberator in the main base gets 6 kills in the meantime. Very nicely done. I mean, let's just go back to this rock for a moment as this Liberator sieges up again. I think I'm just struggling to imagine where does the army position itself so that this rock is really useful. Like, well, I guess you can force field here. I guess you could SimCity this side, but then you're blocking off access to your natural. So I guess you can SimCity here with the rock, with the Nexus, and then you can put your army here. I guess that makes sense, actually. I just feel like you're still so open to an attack from this side that your army can't just sit behind the rock, though. So I feel as though that's why I'm a bit confused, because, like, I get it, right? If you sit your army here, force field there, for example, or something, it chokes up. But it's so easy to attack this base from this side instead, that then the rock is just a hindrance to you. So it's kind of weird. It's kind of strange. I mean, I'm intrigued by it. I really am. As you see this Viking landing going for the queen kill. Who will win this fight? It is gonna just be the queen. Ling's coming in there, but they weren't actually needed. The queen had that one on lockdown. uThermal makes a bit of a misread, but still, I mean, that Hellbat attack still dealt damage. And already uThermal with Stimpack about to finish is moving forwards for maybe another attack, or maybe he himself is just getting ready to defend this third base. He's also going to take it down in this kind of pocket third, so he's going to take that right now and look to see what he can do as a couple of refineries getting set up. Stimpack about to finish up. 1-1 upgrades about halfway done as well. Groove Spines starting also as we see those melee upgrades continue coming through. The Baneling Nest still coming up, and again, Marines already finding themselves a Zergling. Can uThermal get something done with this attack? He leads in supply going into a 20 army supply ahead. He might even have 1-1. I guess 1-1's a bit far away. 20 seconds for armor, 40 seconds for +1 attack. He forgot about that for a little while. But he can unload on the high ground here, which is actually going to be able to start allowing him to attack in towards the 4th base. And uThermal looks as though he might just straight up deny this and force the cancel. soO's going to have to cancel that last moment. Doesn't quite get the drone. Okay, now he will because it just stops moving. uThermal should be happy with this and might just want to back away before more reinforcements of soO are available to come in and perhaps clean up his army. Again, if uThermal wins this really throws this group into a bit of a weird tandem as to where we are at. And again, Creator would be guaranteed 4th place in the group, but his matches against uThermal could still be very important here. As we do see, Marine's going to come back around this top side, and we are going to see just cleaning up some of the crew spreads. soO will now expand down to the south side instead. And as Ling is going to start moving forwards, Marines are just going to load up and go straight to the main for a drop. Those 2 tanks still just left over here as uThermal reinforcing quite heavily at home. Currently just rallying out towards that supply depot. As we're going to see these Marines doing a little bit of damage. Time to lift up, though. He already lost one of his medevacs. The other medevac now going down as well. Sorry, now getting away. But those tanks left behind are going to get cleaned up as well. And they are going to get picked off. So it's a nice cleanup here. And as you do see again, this medevac to the top side, going to continue moving around. What's up, Robert Fari with the 7-month Twitch Prime sub? How are you doing? Thank you very much for the 7 months of love. Do appreciate the support and those cheers you keep on coming in with day by day, it seems. Very, very much appreciate it, as we are going to be seeing the Marines coming back home in that medevac and getting set to go. Yes, guys, I know it's just a rock. I'm just intrigued because it just seemed to me like a bit of a weird position. But if you want me to stop talking about it so much, I'll never mention the rock again, okay? There's a couple of creep tumors do get taken down over here. I'm just going to be picking off a little bit. Just going to see another couple medevacs heading up top side. Some Banes rolling in towards this mineral line, though. uThermal doesn't react, and that is... Oh, no, he reacts late, and that's a bit even worse than not reacting at all, because those SCVs clump up at such a terrible timing for him. That's some damage dealt there by soO, as this drop for now is going to be denied, is going to get pushed away, and just the right there, the Hydra's not quite able to pick up the kill on those medevacs. So those medevacs continue to escape, as these ones up here are going to go for the cancel on the 5th base now. Oh, those medevacs in a little bit of trouble, keep on moving away though, as uThermal does get this base to the top side. Morling's still running around, as we're going to see Creep still pushing around the map too. Medevacs have loaded up again, and uThermal's still just multitasking around the place here, seeing what else he can get up to, seeing what exactly he can gain in the next few moments, as he still has, again, a couple of different drops out on the map. Just setting up with these, as still pushing up the left. This drop's actually going to come back all the way over here as he finishes building up his 4th base. Into well and truly the macro game here once again. As you can see, that drop does pick off a few Morphin Banes, lifts up and backs away once again here. Very nicely done, and still this game kind of in the balance between the two of them still. Either player can take this one here on Cyprus Relay Station for game number 2 of this series. Again, more Lings, Hydras, and a few Banelings up from soO to the top right-hand side. The Hive now coming down with Aspire, so looking maybe to go straight towards Broodlords, or maybe he just wants to make sure he gets the Corruptors up in time to help deal with the Liberator switches. Oh no, uThermal. This is a little bit of an odd spot here. This 4th base has to cancel and live, but it might just go down. uThermal's not slowing down though. He's going to continue across the map, and that's going to create some weird sort of situation here, because there's still some Lings and Banes which we're putting on the picture-in-picture, moving down that south side. This drop's going to get caught off a little bit as well, although more Marines coming in too, and they are going to start getting quite a little bit of damage done. So there's going to be doing a little bit more here. The tanks are going to do quite a lot as well. It's going to be seeing them continue to take a little bit of this fight. I mean, soO just ran into this fight. uThermal loses a lot. Hydras on the south side of the map are picking their way on the factory as well, as this attack for now is calming down just a little bit. Problem is, uThermal just doesn't have a response to those Hydras, which are just starting to deal damage to his 3rd base after already killing off his 4th. Just going to be seeing these Marines still stimming on in, and a lot of SCVs starting to go down now. uThermal's 3rd base has lifted up, and it's pushed away as that attack pretty much ends down to the south. We'll continue to focus on this one here, because the army supply is still good for uThermal, and that's why he's still able to stick on this side. He might even get this 3rd hatchery. It's going to go down. soO's pulled too far back, perhaps? No, he's starting to come forwards. He might just be able to save this still. There's a lot of Hydras, but there's also a lot of tanks, and those tanks are going to be one of the main things that will help so much against this. Going to be seeing another Hydra coming in towards the center, and just going to be seeing what's next. Another couple of tanks sieging up as more Lings and Hydras, like Baneling or 2, still moving forwards here. The tanks will try and support against the Hydras, but maybe just a bit too much here from soO. Comes in from the right-hand side as well. Those Hydras haven't come back home. We'll pick off the last couple of tanks, and uThermal has been cleaned out up to this top side. Very, very nicely done as this medevac lifts up a few Marines, and we are going to be seeing this medevac coming along down the bottom to see what's next. Again, some of these SCVs just long distance mine because the main base has had to lift up, relocate. uThermal has been in trouble when it comes to economy in the last 3 or 4 minutes from that 4th base being denied. You can see the leap that soO has taken in terms of that income lead, and obviously since then he's taken a couple of good fights as well. Look at uThermal's army supply devastated there in that initial fight as well. Now we see soO pushing across the map, and of course he's still teching behind this adrenal glands. Hive tech in general with the Great Aspire coming up. The 4th base gets SCVs picked off, and so does this 3rd, just straight up goes down. And that is pretty much going to be the end of this right now, because that's GG, and soO will take game number 2. And we are tied up here in this TVZ. What a series we're having between two great players at quick aggressive start. uThermal top left hand side has found himself proxy 2-raxing with a drone which has scouted it. soO is bottom right. Sorry, we started this game just a little early. I meant to hold off 20 seconds, but I clicked stop by mistake. I was like, oh, I'll be fine, and no, it will not be fine, because drones are going to pull in. uThermal's going to lose his racks, and what do you actually do from here? He's actually going to lose both SCVs, right? He's lost one. The other one's going to go down as well. Oh, he doesn't even finish that rack, so it's like literally about... Oh, it's 46 out of 46. Oh, he has another SCV. Okay, so he's going to be able to finish this first racks at least. But obviously this is already a bit of a disaster compared to what you would like it to be. Hatch gas pull from soO, but he's obviously feeling good about the delay. And he actually just cancels the second racks here, uThermal. And he might even just throw down an expansion and do something kind of a little bit weird and quirky to try and recover from the attempt to proxy 2 racks. was going to see this SCV running around the left-hand side and just checking out the main base, seeing what is going on here at the moment. Looking to see what is up. As you're going to see, the first Marine just going to look to try and do whatever damage it can for some lings and, you know, maybe pick off a drone or so. And any damage done is going to be great damage in general at the moment. As we're going to see, 2 drones already low. We'll try and bunker up. It's a Reaper to follow up as a CC comes down. So again, he's just going to try and follow up with kind of somewhat standard expansion. But of course, a little bit of a weird scenario to play it out from, based on what has already been happening here in this game. Some lings going to come in as the Reaper arrives to fight against this at the moment. And we are going to be seeing that Marine still being chased away. And it is just going to go down now, as those Zerglings going to be able to cancel the bunker. I mean, that's not too surprising. Look how many lings he's forced, at least, actually. You know, that's a lot of lings from soO. He's maybe expecting even more pressure. But the fact that now a factory just starts up at home, and this is something soO sees. soO also sees the expansion. No, he doesn't. soO does now see the expansion. Now he's going to realize, oh, you didn't build the second racks in the end. And so now soO will be like, okay, well, in that case, I need to start droning, right? A couple of Reapers here will still be annoying, but obviously so many lings, they shouldn't really be able to do too much damage, and they're already pulling away. Ling speed start obviously is delayed slightly because drones pulling off the line, etc. This entire build order kind of timing is just kind of thrown off a little bit from what we would expect it to be. As we do have those 2 Reapers coming up towards the upper left-hand side. As we're going to see these couple of Queens from soO continue to fight against this barracks. So, I mean, barracks is scouting around for now, and uThermal is actually going to build a new barracks at home. I mean, you need it. You know, even if you're going to play mech here, you need the barracks to be able to build up extra factories in the long term. As we are going to be seeing this. First Hellion on the way out, one of the issues of not having the barracks at home is you can't build the reactor with it, and so the factory can't just go in towards it, so swap over to that reactor to start reactoring out Hellions. So, it's going to build Hellions one at a time for now. Again, this build from uThermal currently a little bit freestyle as he just tries to figure it out, get it fixed, and try and return into shape from the kind of disastrous start which he just had. Well, Starport is going to start up a Viking at the moment, so Viking coming in as we are going to see this Mule coming down as well. A lot of lings coming across the map with a couple of Hellions. It's definitely manageable, and so he is going to get the first shot off. Oh, he's going to lose the first Hellion so quickly. Grenade goes down, actually saves that Hellion, although it will go down to the next round. I think now enough lings have gone down that he's pretty much going to survive here. 1 SCV and a Hellion. That's quite a lot of lings for 1 SCV and a Hellion, honestly, so not even that bad for uThermal, as he kept the majority of what he needed alive in this. And again, nicely done. uThermal still playing this out pretty well so far. Just want to say thank you, by the way, to Rene Klasan, who's come in with a $7 donation. Hasn't actually attached a message or anything, just the $7, but thank you so much for the $7, mate. Got some Wardy hearts in the chat, please, for Rene Klasan, and helping us to, again, keep the stream alive and keep us streaming every day. Thank you very much. Some Wardy hearts in the chat, guys, for the donation. As you do see, the third hatchery is just finished up. Now, you do see the third CC is on its way as well. Barracks building another tech lab. We are going to see double engineering base, so it does look as though we're going to be seeing bio once again from uThermal. 9 workers down. It's, you know, this is honestly not terrible for uThermal because he forced so many lings early. It's actually working out for him to some extent, as we're going to be seeing factory making a couple more Hellions, so uThermal can perhaps go on the map. He's got this Liberator out. Vikings already found 1 Overlord, but not finding anything else just yet. We'll continue to move around now to see what else he can do. And as we are again on Dreamcatcher here for map 3. This is a map by VSG, formerly known as Time, a player, well, a map maker who was who actually created Catalina, a map which obviously I think you guys are very familiar with. Obviously, he really does enjoy his markings on the map. Catalina had that big octopus, and this map has the big Dreamcatcher in the center. As we're going to be seeing those Hellions and Reapers dodging around, and just going to be seeing those few Zerglings still looking to see what else they can do. Reaper goes down there right away. 2 Reapers though, and so a second Reaper will fall. Can these Hellions survive without losing anything? Oh, he is going to. He gets one final nibble with the Ling, but that's about it. As I'm not sure where the Liberator was. Looks as though it was in the natural, but it picked off 4 workers before he got shut down. There's still another 4 workers. It's 4 more workers that uThermal is back in the game in that he didn't really have an advantage a little while ago. As you're going to see these couple of Queens targeting down this Viking. That gets pushed away very easily. Shut down without really having to think twice. So 1-1 continue to come up. Stimpack is going to be finishing very soon as well. And 2 more barracks continue to come on up. So just getting into his 4th and 5th racks. his third CC in location. Again, this immediately, you know, you sit here and you're like, whoa, one open third base, but then you realize there's like an entrance here. This area is blocked off a bit as well, so actually it's not so bad, and you can even knock down these rock towers if you want to stop forward attacks from coming through. That's something that a Zerg might focus on more than a Terran. It's kind of a weird one because it's very situational on when you want those rock towers to be down or when you just want them to be cleared out in general. So it's actually kind of interesting and will create some interesting choices. And I wonder if we do get to see those coming into play in one of the matches in this tournament. Obviously, we only get to see each map so many times. So you're going to see these few Hellions coming in and looking to see what's happening. SC Electric in the chat, after this game, can you rewind and show how soO scouted how the 2 racks? He just drone scouted right away, so as these Hellions do get picked off. I was watching the first minute. He actually sent out a drone super early to drone scout, and he just scouted proxy locations. So he just scouted the proxy locations and run right into it with a drone. So hopefully that answers the question. Again, apologies that we did miss the first minute in a proxy-based build, especially one that ended up being scouted, so I do apologize. Marine's going to start unloading here, and we do see the medevacs obviously already taking a little bit of damage. Has to be a little bit careful. We'll start stim backwards and trade with some of these lings, but has to lift up here before the queens get too much damage done before they start actually picking off those medevacs. 4th command center on the way up here from uThermal as well. And there's just going to be seeing more Marines and tanks coming in towards the center of the map. So they're going to be gathering themselves up, and again, just a few more group streamers coming out in towards the center. So coming out in towards the middle, and just going to be seeing the Lings, Banes, and Hydras coming across to see what else he wants to do. Oh my god, the tanks on siege, and soO is going to leap on this. The tanks in the front actually do soak quite a few Banelings, but they weren't able to help at all in the Hydras. But does that matter if uThermal has enough Marines? Because the Banes didn't connect on Marines at all in this. Well, more Lings coming through, and that's just going to tank and give the Hydras a chance to deal damage, and that medevac doesn't have boost. One of the medevacs that Marines loaded into, meaning it goes down, Marines go down with it. And that is, once again, a big heavy loss here, as you are going to see some more Marines coming over. Another Zergling gets picked off. uThermal still playing this well at the moment. Just going to see more Lings and Hydras gathering up. A couple more Banelings on the way out as well. And we are just going to be seeing soO setting up in the center, getting ready to keep on attacking. Just going to see tank already firing away and connected onto a whole bunch of those Lings, pushing that back. And there is 15 more Banelings on the way up. More Zerglings coming through as well. And well, here we go. Lings and Hydras from soO going to get ready to push on through this position. Already those couple of depots going to go down. As we are going to see again, these Banes able to start moving forwards. At the same time, there's a drop across the map. We're going to put that on the picture here for you guys, so you can keep track of both of these fights at the same time. As you see right now, though, soO is just decimating this third base. uThermal is in full-on retreat mode, but soO's 4th is also in some trouble. He doesn't have anything at home to really defend. The queens are starting to come into play, but those queens are actually only just now really pushing this back as the Lings come in as well. So uThermal actually does some damage himself here. Obviously, neither player loses a command center, although maybe now as those Hydras push back in, that could become a bit of a bigger deal. This medevac now cleaned up as uThermal distracted. His CC goes down, so he will tap out, and soO will take this final series. So he goes 3-0.